Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, I was thinking to continue the Majjhima Nikaya, and this is the third sutta from the Majjhima Nikaya we're going to discuss today. I have done this sutta before also, but we'll try to continue all the 151 suttas to continue for this class. I don't know how long we can do, but beautiful suttas are there, so we will learn to learn. Today we're going to learn Dhammadāyādasutta, the heirs in the teaching. Dhammadāyāda. The Dāyāda, it means heirs, means then whatever the father earns, it give it to the son or daughter, pass it on. So that passing on the wealth and all the material things, that is called the heir. In the Buddha's dispensation also, it is mentioned what is the heir is. So Dhamma should be heir. In this sutta, we're going to learn the couple of things. Now, first, what we should expect from this Dhamma, what we should gain from this Dhamma. Second thing, we are suffering in this world, we are born, and there are a lot of errors in our life, and how we can get rid of, what is the solution of those, what is the solution of all these things. It is mentioned in this sutta, and we're going to learn it. Okay, let's begin our class. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. This sutta begins like this. Evam me suttam, thus I have heard. Ekam samayam bhagava savatiyam viharati jetavani anatha pindikasa arame. At one time, the Blessed One was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anath Pindika's monastery. Tatrako Bhagava Bhikkhu Amantesi. The Supreme Buddha addressed the bhikkhus. Bhikkhavoti, Buddha says, bhikkhus, listen. And they replied to the Supreme Buddha, Madante Titeko Bhikkhu Bhagavato Pachasya. Venerable Sir, they replied. Supreme Buddha said to this, Dhammadāyāda me bhikkhave bhavatha ma amisadāyāta. Bhikkhus, be my heirs in the teaching, not in the things of the flesh. So all the material things we should not be dayad of. You should not be become heir of. Atime tumhesu anukampa. Supreme Buddha says that I have compassion, I have sympathy for you. Due to that, I am telling that become a heir of teaching, not in the material thing. How can my disciple become heirs in the teaching, not in the things of the flesh? Kinti me savaka Dhammadāyādā bhavehi no āmisadāyādāti. Tumme ca me bhikkhave āmisadāyādā bhaveyāta no Dhammadāyādā. Tumme pitena ādiyā bhaveyāta. If you become a heir in the things of the flesh, not in the teaching, that will make you liable to accusation. What people will say? What will happen? That if you become dayad of flesh, material things, then people will think, or it will say, what it will say? Amisa dayada sattu savaka viharanti no dhammadāyādāti. The teacher's disciples lives as a heir in the things of the flesh, not in the teaching. And when that happens, I will be ahampitena adiyo bhaveyam, and it will make me not liable to the accusation. That Supreme Buddha will be there. Okay, how his students are, that this thing will happen. So that's why Buddha says, due to the sympathy, due to the out of compassion, become a heir of teaching, not in the things of flesh. So this thing is Buddha mentioned for the disciples, the monks, but we are living this. And we also can relate to this particular things in this way. We go to the monastery, or we are part of this, all the programs. And when we are practicing these things, there are certain things can be happen in our mind. What kind of? If I become a part of this monastery, I will gain the reputation. I will gain this particular things from. The monks will say my name for a couple of times, and people will recognize me from that. People do hope such a thing, or they will say, oh, that is the devotee, others are not. So in this way, what we are hoping for, all the things what we do, what we are hoping for, we are hoping that others may call our name. Others may think like that, and it is automatically become what? The things of the flesh. The material things we are hoping from the monastery. But what Buddha advised to us? Do not become a heir of material things. So your connection should be in the monastery, your connection should be with the Buddha only for spiritual guidance, only for the practice of Dhamma. If you hope something else, then the purpose of Supreme Buddha's teaching will be defeated. It won't be solved that easily. It won't be say, okay, this is the things that we are hoping, and I'm getting it from the monastery now. What we should hope? We should hope to be practicing, to become a heir of teaching, not the heir of material things or the flesh. Okay? Buddha gave the beautiful simile for these things. What Buddha says? Idahang bhikkhave bhuttavi assang pavarito paripurno pariyosito suhito yavadatto. Supposed, Buddha says, that I have eaten the food and there is a food remain in my bowl, and I am completely full of that. I do not want anything more of it, and I still have a remaining food. So, siyacha me pindapato atireka dhammo chaddaniyo. So there is a food is left. On that time, two monks approached me, or two monks comes to me who are hungry and who hasn't eaten the food. So, if I will say to them, Tyahang evam vadema, I would say to them, Aham komi bhikkhave buddhavi pavarito paripunno pariyosito suhito yavadatto. Because I have eaten and refused more food, being full and having had as much as I need, and there is a still food remain in my bowl, and I am going to throw it away. So eat it if you like. Sache akankata bhunjata noche tumme bhunjissata ida naham appahariteva chaddesami appanakeva udake opila opila pesami. What Buddha says, if you like, you can have this food. Otherwise, I will throw this food out where there is a very little grass or on the common place, or I will put it in the water where is no animals lives. So, if we are there, how we will think? Oh, there is nothing to remain. Most of time, that thing happens. We will be this person, oh, the food is left. Let me eat it. In our monasteries also, we believe these things. Like what? We think, oh, this thing is wasting, and in the monastery there is a lot of things. I should hope that I can gain something from them. There are a lot of people in the world, or even Sri Lanka, in India also, and I believe in the Western countries also. They associate temples not for only for spiritual guidance, but to hope, okay, I can get something, the goods, or some kind of help, or some kind of things they expect. Okay, the monastery should provide us. And when that happens, what is happening? They are hoping to become heir of the things of flesh. They are hoping for the material things. And they are not hoping to become they are not there to gain the teachings. So Buddha said, one of them, tatre kasa bhikkhuno evamassa. One of those mendicant or one of those monks thinks like this: Bhagavako bhuttavi pavarito paripurno pariyosito suhido yavadatto. That Supreme Buddha has eaten the food and he doesn't need anything else. And there is a still food remain in his bowl. If no one has taken, then he will going to throw it where he will throw it on the dry land where is a very little grasses, or in the water where there is no beings lives or there is no creatures. So what I should do? Sache mayang na bunjessam. If I don't eat, then Buddha will throw it away, he thinks. But Vuttangho panetang bhagava. But the Buddha has said also, our teacher is mentioned this. Be heirs in the in the teachings, not in the things of the flesh. Right? Be heir of the Dhamma, not for the material thing. And alms food is one of the things of the flesh. This food, it is the material thing. Yunnunahang imang pindapatang abhunjitva iminav jigiccha dubbalena imang rattin divang vitinamin miyanti. Instead of eating this alms food, why don't I spend the day and night weak with hunger? See, Buddha said that don't become a heir of flesh, material thing. And this food is also the material thing. If I take it the food, how we will think? Oh, the Bhante is hoping to have food. Doesn't matter he's going to throw it or not. I will spend my whole day and night being hungry. And that's why that's the way he does. He does not take the food from the Buddha. The second mendicant, Atha Dutiyassa Bhikkhuno eva massa. The second monk, he thinks like this, that Supreme Buddha has eaten his food, how much he wanted, and now there is a food remaining in his bowl. And if I don't eat, then he will throw it away in the dry land, or he will throw it in the water where there is no creatures. So, if I eat, then I will get rid of this hunger. I will get rid of this weakness which is come from the hunger. So he thinks that will be good, no, because I can get rid of that hunger, and I can leave it easily. I can spend my day and night practicing Dhamma without that. First one thinks I can spend the day and night hungry being practicing the Dhamma. And that's why he take that food. So he eat that food. Buddha says, eating kinchapiso bhikkhave bhikkhutang pindapatang gunjitva jigacha dubbalyang pativinodetva evam tang rattindivam vitina menya atako asuyeva me puriso bhikkhu pujjatarocha pasansatarocha. Buddha says, even though that mendicant after eating the alms food spent the day and night rid of hunger and weakness, it is the farmer bhikkhu who is more worthy of respect and praise. Who's Buddha is saying? The good thing about the first one who said, Buddha mentioned, do not become a heir of material thing. Be a heir of Dhamma. And this food is the material thing. I will not eat it. And Buddha praised this monk. This monks should be more respected. Why? Because he did not wish to take the food from Buddha. Doesn't matter I'm throwing it or not. So that is the thing. That's why majority of time, that's why Buddha mentioned the enlightened beings, they live like a swan. Once they leave their pond, nothing remains there. Everything they take with them as their wings, they carry in the same way. In this world, they don't hope that this pond is mine. I should build it here. I should not move somewhere else. Such a mind they do not develop in their mind. Because this material things, it is the hair of only flesh. Buddha did not mention that. And that's why enlightened beings like this. That's why we worship also them. And for the practitioner, they should develop such a qualities. What? That they should think, I should not be a heir of the material thing. I should be heir of Dhamma. So when you associate monasteries, do not hope to gain something from there except the spiritual guidance, except Dhamma. Majority of the time, people separate from the monastery because of they hope they should get some worldly things. They should get praise. You see, Linda or Joey in this our monastery, having spent a long time, like more than 5 to 6 years are there, or more than that. A lot of devotees also. There is for 2006, I think 2006 or 2010, our Toronto monastery exists. How many the earlier people are still there? You can count them. You can count them. Why? Because majority of time, people forget that why I am a part of this monastery. Is it for the praising? Is it for the other people may say, oh, this person, this devotee is a good one? Or he is donating a lot. Let's make his name, let make him famous. No. You become a part of the monastery. For what? To learn something about Dhamma. To take the spiritual guidance. And for that, for survival of monastery or sustaining that, whatever you spend, whatever you donate, that is the extra advantage what you get. That offering also, it is benefit of you. Once person forget that thing, what happened? This thing happened, that they become the hair of flesh, not the hair of Dhamma. And that is the best advice the Buddha gave it to us. So, Buddha says, I have a compassion, I have a sympathy toward you. Become the Dayad of Dhamma, become the hair of Dhamma, and not become the Dayad of flesh, not the become of hair of material things. Saying this, Buddha, when idang vatvanu sugato uttayasana viharam pamisi. When he had spoken, Supreme Buddha said these things, the Buddha rose up from his seat and he entered in his dwelling. He went to this. So in that time, there are a lot of monks who were sitting. Tatra ko ayasma sariputto achirapakkantas bhagavato bhikkhu amantesi. Then soon after the Buddha left, Venerable Sariputta said to the mendicants, Auso bhikkhaveti, Reverend bhikkhus, Auso tite bhikkhu bhagavato pacchasosu. They also replied as Reverend Bhantes. These things, that calling the Auso has changed after Buddha passed away. Okay? Only younger monks can, for their senior monk, they can call their name, they can call them Ayasma. Okay? The senior monk, they can, out of the respect, they can call them. But for the younger monks, the older monk can say them the Auso, or they can say them, they can say their name also. The respect should. Earlier time, they call each other. They are equal in that way. So they call each other as a Auso or Ayasma in both ways. So Sariputta Bhante said this thing to the monks. What he says? Kittavatanu ko Auso sattu pavivitassa viharato savaka vivekam nanu sikkanti kittavatacha panasattu pavivitassa viharato savaka vivekam anusikyanti. Because how do the disciples of the teacher who lives in the seclusion not train in seclusion? And how do they train in seclusion? So, when the Buddha is living in isolation or seclusion, alone, in the same way, how monks do not practice that things. And what is the way that they practice it is mentioned. So this monk said, Bhante, we came here from very far to listen the same thing, to hear to get the answer of that from the Venerable Sariputta. So it will be very good if the Bhante will explain. May Venerable Sariputta himself please clarify the meaning of this. Sadhu vataya smanteva Sariputtam patibhatu etasya bhasitasatto. Bhante, please let us know the meaning of that. So Sariputta Bhante said, Ayasmato Sariputtas sutva bhikkhu dharanti. When the Sariputta Bhante will explain such a thing, we will remember it. Then Sariputta Bhante said, Tena hauso sunatha sadhukang manasi karotha bhasisami. Well then, because listen and apply your mind well. I will speak. And they said, yes, Bhante, please. Likewise, Sariputta Bhante says, Kittavatanu hauso sattu pavivitasya viharato savaka vivekam nanusikkati. And how do the disciples of teacher who lives in seclusion not train in seclusion? The disciples of teacher who lives in seclusion do not train in seclusion. They don't give up what the teacher tells them to give up. Yesam cha dhammanam sattha pahanamaha te cha dhamme nappajahanti. What Buddha said to us to get rid of that, give up these people or these monks, they do not give up that. Bahulika cha hunti, sathalika, okkamane pubbangama, paviveke nikkita dhura. They are indulgent and slack, leaders in backsliding, neglecting seclusion. Right? For the bhikkhus of the Supreme Buddha said, okay, give up this. What give up? Give up your name, give up your title, give up your, the robes or the all the things, material things it is. They said, give up in that. And what you should do? You should practice diligence. You should go forward. Do not fall back. Practice hard and spend a time in isolation to practice meditation. But the bhikkhus who does not follow his teaching, what they do, they hope that material things, when the Buddha mentioned in the first time, okay, because three robes, before the making the robes of, Buddha said, okay, you can accept the robes from the householder. Like now the Kathina ceremony is coming, 26th, the Kathina is in the Toronto monastery, I think. So that time, the so many different monks in different monasteries, monks will be also become a part. And people will offer the food or people will offer the robes. Earlier time when the Buddha gave the permission to utilize such a robe, monks started to gather robes more than they wanted. And once the rainy retreat finished, they fill the huge bag. They tied up all the ropes and put it on the bag, shoulder, and they were carrying like a goods. And Buddha saw, I asked the monks to accept the robe, and they are gathering in a huge amount. That is not good. So the Buddha made the rule: only 3 robes monks can have. What Buddha says, give up extra robes. Still now, if someone thinks, I will not follow this, can this monk follow the Buddha's teaching? No. So when the monastery tells us, when you are listening Dhamma, show the reverence to the Dhamma by by sitting down to listen. Show respect. Avoid other works to do. Show respect to the Dhamma. Listen carefully. Forget about that you are a CEO, you are a manager, you are a very hierarchy person. When you visit monastery, be a humble person. When it mentioned, if someone does not do that, in the monastery, there are 100 kind of people comes. Some has a different ways of expressing themselves. Some people get angry. Some people are different ways. There are a lot of formats. And Buddha explained, be patient, thrive in Dhamma. And here it mentioned, this person become a slack, indulgent. What happened? Buddha mentioned about don't go back, go forward in the teaching. But this person is falling back. Practice isolation, practice seclusion in the meditation time. And we are gathering there and chatting only in monastery. Can we follow the Buddha's teaching? No. So that is mentioned in this sutta. What is mentioned? So Sariputta Bhante says, Tatrauso Thera Bhikkhu Tihitanehi Garaya Bhavanti. In this case, the senior bhikkhu should be criticized on 3 grounds. So, if they are not following what Buddha said to give up, if they are not giving up, what Buddha says to practice striving Dhamma, if they are not doing it, they are neglecting seclusion, then they should be called or they should be criticized on the ground of three grounds. What are those? Sattu pavitasya sviharato savaka vivekam nanusikkanti. The first is that that the Supreme Buddha, the disciples of the teacher who lives in seclusion do not train in seclusion. What is it? What it is mean? They are living in seclusion. So they are living in the forest monasteries. They are living in the different places where there is isolation. But from the inner mind, their mind is completely filled with all the worldly things. Yesterday I ate this. Tomorrow I will get this food. That day, that Upasaka came to me and he said, Bhante, you are very beautiful. And different. So when the monk should stay in seclusion by practicing meditation or developing mind, his mind is completely filled with the common people. Or that monk said this to me, this thing is happening to go in that way. Such a things is in his mind. So even he is the monastery where the place where no people goes usually, it is in forest, it is in isolation, but this monk is not isolated himself. That is the first base that this elderly monk or the senior monk should be criticized on that ground. Second thing, Sariputta Bhante said that Yesang cha dhammanang sattapahanama techa dhamme nappahajati. They don't give up what the teacher tells them to give up. Supreme Buddha said, okay, let these things go. And this monks is gathering, not giving up them. That is the second ground to be criticized. Third one, they are indulgent and slack, leaders in the backsliding, neglecting seclusion. So, basis on these things, this is the third thing they should be criticized on. And Sariputta Bhante says, this is not only for the senior monk, the middle monk who has spent half of the time, junior or the youngest monk who recently come to there. So all three monks who is now coming to practice or who are very younger monk, junior monk, and then these senior monks also, they all should be criticized on the ground of these three things. Ettavata ko auso sattu svavivitasya viharato savaka vivekam nanusikkati. This is how the disciple of teachers who lives in seclusion do not train in seclusion. That is the way. What the Buddha has mentioned to do, this person does not do. When the Buddha said be in seclusion, this person does not do that. And Buddha, when he said strive in Dhamma, practice it, work hard, develop the energy. And this monk does not do. He let the others without filter, he let them all the worldly things come to his mind. So because of that, this person is not practicing what Buddha has mentioned. Then he said, how someone learn the Dhamma, how someone practice what is Viveka Manusikhanti, how someone practice the seclusion in the same way. When the Buddha said give up, these monks give up. When the Buddha says practice in seclusion, these monks practice in that. What he does in that time, nacha bahulika hunti, na sathalika, okkamane nikkita dhura paviveke ubbangama. They are not indulgent land, leaders in backsliding, neglecting seclusion. They do not do that thing. So because of that, the senior monks does not get scolded, does not criticize that for. We cannot criticize for them for these three bases. Junior monks or younger monks cannot be criticized for these things because Buddha what mentioned, they are practicing in that manner. Further, Sariputta Bhante says, this is the how disciple of teachers who lives in seclusion train in seclusions. And by listening to the Supreme Buddha's words, by following, by practicing seclusion, and by giving up what Buddha has mentioned. Then Sariputta Bhante mentioned the very beautiful and important things in here, how to get rid of, what is the path to get rid of all the impurities in our life. And there, these impurities is mentioned in for us. Tatra uso lobho cha papako, doso cha papako. The bad things here is greed and hatred. What would they say? What the Sariputta Bhante says? This greed and hatred is an evil thing. Lobhasya pahanaya, dosasya pahanaya, atti majjima patipada chakkukarani jnanakarani upasamaya abhinyaya nibbana sambodhaya nibbanaya sanvartati. There is the middle way of practice, the middle path for giving up greed and hatred. It gives vision and knowledge and leads to peace, direct knowledge, awakening, and extinguishment. That is the Majjhima Patipada, the Noble Eightfold Path. Katamacha also Majjhima Patipada. And what is the middle path? What is the middle way of practice? Ayameva Aryo Attangiko Maggo. And it is simply this Noble Eightfold Path. What is it? Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, Samma Kamanto, Samma Ajivo, Samma Vayamo, Samma Sati, and Samma Samadhi. Right view, right thought or intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right immersion, right samadhi. So this is the middle eightfold path. And for what? To get rid of greed and hatred. If someone thinks that I want to get rid of my greed, what they should do? They should follow this eightfold path. And slowly, slowly. When path is there, remember, whenever the path word is mentioned, it doesn't mean that today you came to the monastery and tomorrow you will be free from that. No. Whenever you want to go somewhere, when you put in the GPS or now the Google, maps, when you put it there, what it mentioned, it shows that it will take 3 hours, it will take 1.5 hours, it will take 2 days. If you are traveling from Toronto to Vancouver, how many days it will take? 2 or 3 days it will take. If you are constantly driving, it will take more than 24 hours. So why? Because your destination is that far. And this route is taking you there. That's why it takes time. You go by flight, it will take time. You go by train, it will take time. You walk there, it will take time. It depends how you practice. So path is there. Instantly there is nothing happens. Remember that. It is a path and we have to walk there. It depends if we are going walking by foot or by foot. We are walking there, we are going there by bicycle or motorcycle, car or train or plane. It depends on that. You can take their jet also. It will take more faster, So that will also happen, but it will cost you more. You go by walk, by foot, it doesn't cost you anything. It will take your time. If you go by there by bicycle, it will be lesser that time. Go by train, go by flight. In the same way, how much you try with Dhamma, how much effort you take, your path will be changed. So that thing you should remember, path. For what this path is for? To get rid of greed and hatred. And why? Because this is the bad thing. This is the evil. Lobo chapapako. The greed is a evil. Doso chapapako. The hatred also. Hate is also evil. It's a bad thing. And to get rid of that, you have to do. Further, Sariputta Bhante mentioned the beautiful things. And these are all the things we possess. You and me, we possess these things. And that's why we are following Buddha's teaching. What Sariputta Bhante says? Sariputta Bhante says, Kodho cha papako, upanaho cha papako. What? Anger and acrimony, bitterness, or ill ill feeling toward others, that thing, it is bad. It is bad. And we do possess that. We have that thing. We have anger in us. We have acrimony also. We do have that. We are having that evil thought toward others. That Sariputta Bhante says that it's a bad thing. Makho cha papako, palaso cha papako, disdain and contempt. What is feeling that someone is not worthy of respect? You know, okay, this is a new person, does not have a good suit. When someone comes to the monastery, if you come in with a BMW or Bentley something, and you see the another person who come with a common cloth, without recognizing that person, without knowing, if you say, I should not respect this person, I should not respect the other person, that thought, he is not worthy of respect. That thought, Sariputta Bhante says, is a evil. That is a papa, that is a bad thing what we possess. You know? People, we think they are beneath consideration. People have a lot of good thoughts. And we see everything I know, that is the best thing. Others cannot give us anything, So that is thing, content. They are beneath us. That thing is also, that thought is also evil. Then, issa cha papika, macheran cha papaka. Jealousy is a evil. Stinginess is an evil thing. If you have this quality, think that this is the wrong thing that I possess. Then, deceit and deviousness, maya cha papika, sateyan cha papakam. Deceit, double dealing, cheating others, making frauds, that thing. And to achieve our goals, utilizing such a tactics or ways, using very polite words to gain something from that person, utilizing a different various skills to fulfill your wish, like we can say, in a way, uh, yeah, deviousness, it is very easier word to understand. There are a lot of examples, emotional blackmail or something like that, doing these people to complete our way or praising others. You are a very good person. So why that? To complete our work, such a way. Sariputta Bhante says, those are the evil things, those are papaka. Dhammo cha papako, sarambo cha papako. Obstinacy and aggression is evil thing. Stubbornness. Buddha is the, uncomparable teacher to tame others. For whom? For these stubborn people, hostile and become violent. Such a behavior. It is obstinacy. That is evil thing we do possess sometimes. Not all the time, but the roots exist in us. Then Sariputta Bhante says, Manoja, Atimanoja, conceit and arrogance, excessive pride. I am superior. None. No one is there. Everything, I am the only one. That thing. Or what we have, the goods, the vehicle, the position, that we make the pride, the material things, having excessive pride in that, vanity, madocha, negligence, papako, pamadocha papako. Sariputta Bhante says, the having excessive pride of worldly things, worldly possession. I possess these things. So become that. Sariputta Bhante says, all these are evil things what we have. And to get rid of this, all the evil things what is mentioned, there is only one path. What is the middle way of practice? The middle eightfold path, Majjhima Patipada. And the quality of that, what is that path? That right view, right thought, right speech, or right action, right livelihood, right effort, and right mindfulness. Sariputta says, this is the path. And what is the beauty of this path? Ayampo also Majjhima Patipada Chakku Karani, Jnana Karani, Upasamaya, Abhinaya, Sambodhaya, Nibbana, Sankara. This middle path has a quality that which gives us the vision. Dhamma eye, it provides us. Knowledge of the truth, knowledge of this entire world, it provides us. This path leads us toward a direction. This path is the destination is toward peace, toward direct knowledge, toward enlightenment, to extinguish all the things, toward awakening. That is a destination of us. This journey from Toronto to Vancouver, that is our journey. What? From this life, this being to be lead toward peace. The peace is our destination. The direct knowledge is our destination. To be awakened, that is our destination. To extinguish all the suffering, getting rid of everything. That is our destination. And toward that destination, one path leads. The highway leads. That is called Noble Eightfold Path. You can utilize a different various ways. When the Sariputta said this, other monks, they are very satisfied. They show the gratitude. They approved and they were very happy. Idam avochaya sma Sariputto Attamanate bhikkhu ayasmato Sariputta sabhasitam abhinandantu. They praise the Sariputta Bhante, Sadhu Bhante. You have said these things in very beautiful way. You have explained this beautiful Dhamma to us, said Sariputta. They show the gratitude. They were happy, they were satisfied. Why? Because Sariputta Bhante has cleared the beautiful thing for them. What? That how monk can follow seclusion as his teacher follows, and how someone not. And the reason behind that, how someone not, because they have all the evil and bad things in them. And that Sariputta is mentioned. When someone get rid of them, what then? They become worthy of praise. In a true way, what the Buddha said, become a heir of teaching, not for the material things. This is the true way to become a heir of teaching and not the material way. So remember this Dhammadāyādasutta. Read it couple of times. Investigating yourself that we do possess such a things. And because of that, we are still suffering in this samsara. Let me practice the Noble Eightfold Path in a slow process, slowly, not in rush. Take a time to practice slowly. Deal with your day-to-day work. Deal with day-to-day problems, and simultaneously practice this holy path. And you will find one day you are in that stage where nothing can stop you. You are walking toward eternal peace, not the death, but liberation. So read this sutta. It's very beautiful. May this beautiful sutta be helpful for all of us to become a heir of teaching and not to become a heir of material things. May this sutta be helpful for all of us to walk in this Noble Eightfold Path and achieve the true liberation in this Gautama Buddha dispensation. Sad.